Hello and welcome to episode 74 of Thinking Outside the Pod.
74.
74.
We go big number here. Four more than 70, I think. Right?
That checks out. I think
yes.
so.
All right. Good. I got an A in math today.
Yeah, episode 74. Patrick's not here yet. He might jump in. If so, we'll go to a break and get him in here.
Or we'll just say forget and just keep going.
If he shows up, it's up to him. But yeah, episode 74. I mean, that's high up there. I mean, that's 75, and then that's like halfway through season 2, essentially.
I guess, is it? I don't know how. I guess so. I guess like about 50 episodes.
About 50 episodes a season.
We do it every week.
Yeah, so that's close. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I enjoy doing something this long. That's really
Jimmy. Whoa.
That's uncharacteristic of me. It's true. I don't know.
That's scary. No,
yeah.
Yes, I don't know.
I'm like, well, how do I have this much dedication and willpower? Because it takes a lot to get something like this going and keep going.
Does it? I guess.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
the things that are like so easy to do, essentially easy to do, are easy to stop as well.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, yeah, that's with everything.
That's to give up. Yeah. Well, yeah, true. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is, like 2 parts is getting something going and then to have the willpower to keep it going.
Exactly. Yeah. That's so that's a little, I guess, bragging on our part. Yes, we have willpower. We are that good.
Do we? Yeah, it's like, wow, this is all news to me. I don't know. I was just handed a mic and said talk and said okay.
Yep, exactly. Well, yeah, even that takes some willpower. But
I was promised lunch, but unfortunately I haven't gotten lunch yet.
We'll get you some lunch at some point. Just stop bringing it up and it'll happen. But yeah, so this is kind of like a pop culture nerd.
Yeah, just
episode.
Random happenings, I suppose.
Exactly. So first things first, in no really particular order, Amy Schumer's GQ photo shoot is drawing some backlash with a lot of fans. If you haven't seen it, it's all over the internet. If you just Google search it, it's her like in the slave Leia thing, and like she has like there's several different photos. One of them is she's like sucking C-3PO's finger. Another one she's like suggestively like putting a lightsaber in her mouth.
Oh wow!
Like things like that, and like in bed with C-3PO and R2-D2 and things like that. The thing is,
so they're not sex robots.
Well, I don't know.
I mean,
so. R2-D2. I mean,
R2-D2. He's sexy. He's one sexy robot. Oh man.
Exactly. So, but essentially they did it without Disney's approval.
Yes, which is not a company you ever want to cross. No. They will sue your ass.
Definitely. So, I guess it's. We had this question before, like a fair use. I don't know. Is that like a parody or satire? So it's possibly usable. I mean, it's like because like singers have said like Weird Al has used like Disney or Star Wars characters in his songs.
That's kind of an interesting point.
But I don't know. I guess so.
I think there's within limits and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if. It's actually interesting. I don't know. I'd have to look up the rule to be quite honest, because it depends on. Are they making money off the pictures? That right there is the biggest thing.
Well, I'd say for sure yes, because those magazines are full of ads, and that's the cover photo of. I
guess it is a magazine, isn't it? So
yeah, so the money is being made, definitely for sure, 100% money's being made. Maybe they can maybe argue that it's not the photo that's drawing people in, but. It is a suggestive photo, sex sells kind of thing.
Yeah, so. I'm kind of curious. I don't know the exact rules on it because I would have to. I mean, I don't know if. It could be a PR stunt on Disney's part. Who knows? Maybe they allowed it and they're just pretending like they're like, oh, we don't like it. It's endangering the kids. Blah, blah, blah,
I mean, you can't put that past any corporations too.
I mean, it's been done before. I mean, that's.
Yep.
All the controversial stuff probably happened on purpose just to get people talking about it. You'd be surprised.
It's true. PR stunts. Like in college, I took like the PR classes and stuff, and those PR stunts they work. I mean, it's why they keep happening. That's why you have like TMZ doing all those like celebrity stories.
Sure.
It's because it's PR. All PR is even bad.
No bad publicity.
Exactly, that's what it was.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, there's no such thing as negative publicity.
Yeah,
it's all good for them. But yeah, it's they're really suggestive, and I mean it's really pushing the limit. So a lot of fans are like backlashing against GQ and against Amy Schumer, who's kind of like an up and coming comedian. She's has her own show on Comedy Central, I believe.
Yeah,
and she's going to be in a movie called like Trainwreck or something like that. Okay. She's starring in a movie that I don't know if she wrote or something like that. But
I've heard the name. I can't put a face to the name though. Yeah. I probably if I see her, I'd go, "Oh, that's her." Okay.
Yeah, she's been around lately, pretty much everywhere. So you've probably seen her face, but just not the name. Yeah. But so that's kind of a big thing and Star Wars related. So
yeah, no, that is
like right in our wheelhouse.
It is interesting that they, that is something. I wonder what made them think, oh hey, let's make C-3PO and R2-D2 like sex objects.
I mean, it's that thing with
I guess controversial. I guess
nerds will buy anything. I mean,
I guess
that's that they do know their audience. I mean, they throw an attractive woman in a slave Leia costume in bed doing suggestive things. Nerds are gonna buy it, I mean, boys are gonna buy it.
Yeah, probably the younger males more than likely.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I'm sure it is calculated, and she's kind of like alternative, so she's kind of out there. So she definitely attracts that kind of audience anyway. So, it worked. I guess I don't know how well it did, but I know it's drawing a lot of backlash.
Yeah, I guess if people are talking about it, there you go.
Yeah, it's working. We've said GQ on this podcast a few times now. We've never said that.
GQ is now officially an actual magazine because of us.
Because we
are that
you're welcome,
GQ.
To
the world. Yes.
Gentleman's Quarterly. That's because of us.
We now require a royalties on every magazine sold.
Yep,
be nice 99%.
Send the check to thinkingoutsidethepod.com.
Yes.
We have a PayPal account. You can just do it to that as well.
Yes, that'll be actually more convenient. Yep. Easier, quicker money for us.
Anything else on that? We can go to our next topic. Let's just go down the list. I mean, there's not really any
segue. We just go next.
Oh, let's see if we can.
Item number 2.
Let's see if we can do a segue.
What are we trying to segue to?
Speaking of
unfortunately, there's no Star Wars fighting games. However, I don't know. I don't remember where the hell it is, but there's a big fighting game tournament going on. I guess EVOs.
EVO. It's short for Evolution Championship Series. They just shortened Evolution.
Yeah, because I've heard of it. I'm not a big fighting game guy, so I've never really followed it too much. Mm-hmm. Just kind of saw a couple videos on it every once in a while, and that's about as much as I get involved in it.
I mean, I like fighting games just like not as much as most people, but I do enjoy them, like fighting with my friends and just button mashing, because all I do is button mash. I've never gotten really into a game where I like go into like the training mode and like test the fatalities and things like that.
Well, because for me, I always would try to do like the actual combos and stuff like that, but then end up just in the middle of battle going, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just going to push the buttons until somebody dies or I die.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do as well. But it's a big deal. I mean, it's gotten, I think there was like 9 or more games, like big name games,
like
all going on during this
all the main fighting games. It's like I'm familiar with all of them. I'm like, I've heard of every single fighting game that we looked up, and it's like I've heard of them all. It's just I don't play them too often because I don't want to go online because I'm just playing with random people.
Yeah, that's
because this for me, unfortunately, like I always have had that one friend who takes fighting games way too seriously and they just ruin it.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I've never been that way about any game. I've always, like, this is all, like, literally it's a game. Why not just have fun? There's no reason to get mad about it.
Yeah.
Like, nothing's on the line, like, usually.
You get that one try hard, you're just like, oh, come on. We're just trying to have fun. I just want to throw this freaking Pokeball at you and smash. It's like, why do we have to turn off all the items all the time, It's like, why do we have to be super serious? And you're like, yeah, I won. It's like, dude, all right, great. Yeah, it's like, good for you.
Yeah, good. Or like
a non-consequential game, and now everybody's pissed off at you because you're being an ass.
If you keep beating them, they'll keep wanting to play until the one time they win, they're like, oh, I'm the best. That was the one that counted.
Oh, I've had that happen before, and that was a different person. And yeah, it was one of those of we'd play, and then eventually it'd be like, oh, we gotta play again. Oh no, I beat you again. It's like, all right. No, it's funny because I got payback on him in different games, because that was back when we used to play like Dota and stuff like that, and we used to do 2 versus 2 matches, and my team would always lose, and then I finally figured out, it's like, oh wait, if I actually just kind of communicate more with my teammate, It's like, hey, look at that, we started winning. And there's one day he got so pissed off because we won like, I don't know, something stupid like 20 games in a row.
Nice.
And then he finally beat us in one. He's like, ha, I won. And I'm like, all right, great. I've only beat you 20 times before. It's like, all right, have your one victory. Good for you, man. Suck it.
Yeah, that's if you're like that, I guess that can be our weekly. We haven't done it in a while. Or stop it.
Stop it. Yeah. Stop being that asshole.
Yeah, that segment that we tell people to stop doing dumb things.
Stop being a tryhard when you're playing with your friends in fighting games. Just play the game, have fun.
Have fun. Yeah. If you keep losing, practice and get better and then win, or just don't worry about it because it's just a game.
Yeah, just have some fun.
You're not losing anything when you lose. You're not winning anything when you win. It's just a fictional game. Just have fun with it. It's literally, that's what it's there for.
Yeah, I mean, because like every once in a while, if you know you definitely have advantage over everybody, take advantage of every once in a while. But try not to be an ass about it.
Like if you're so much better than them, like limit yourself in some way to make it at least interesting. Like
try.
We'll try. Like for me, button mashing sometimes wins out of luck. So it's not really me that's ever really better than anyone else at games.
Yeah.
But like if someone is, like, you can be like, okay, now I'm just gonna try to win a match just by kicking. I'm not gonna punch at all, or I'm going to not use this one item that's I always use, or something. Like try to limit yourself to make it more interesting.
Sure.
I've never been in that position, but I guess people good at games could do that. I think that's a possibility.
So, I mean, for us, like every once in a while, what we do is like, especially with like Smash Brothers and stuff like that. Like we would, instead of just doing this normal fighting modes, I mean, we do that every once in a while, and you get like the one guy who does like the douche tactics. And you're like, all right, we're done with this. That's not fun if you're just going to do that kind of crap.
Yeah.
But what we would do is we would play like a flat level that had like two equal sides. And what we'd do is we'd put just like Pokeball and Master Balls in it. And we'd go, all right, two guys are on one half, the other two guys are on the other half. And all you can do is you can just chuck the Pokeballs at the other side to see who dies first.
Yeah.
I mean, we found that online one day and we're like, oh, we got to do this. And it's stupid fun. You got shit flying all over the place and you're just trying not to die. Like everybody would have to play as Pokemon characters and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, change the game to make
just do little fun stuff like that. Just, put on stupid game modes and stuff and just have fun. Not
like in Halo, we used to like turn gravity like way low, everyone or like speed really fast, so everyone's just like running and jumping all over the place, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
like just things like that to make it funner. I mean, why not? I mean,
sure. That's the whole point of playing games is to have fun.
Exactly, and they put all those settings and things on there for people to play around with. So yeah, definitely. If you're one of those kind of people, stop it. Why not?
And if you're going to be that competitive person, it's like, all right, fine, you go play at Evo, and they actually prove that you're that good. It's like, stop being an asshole to us and actually go and show your.
On what was it, Kotaku? They had that.
Oh yeah, there was a video that I saw earlier today, and it was I think they were playing Guilty Gear, I think is what it was, and like it was one guy was up one because you have to win two matches. And one guy had already won one, and then the other guy won another match. And for whatever reason, he got up and was celebrating. I think he thought the game was over or something. But there's still the third match. And the other guy immediately was like, this idiot just stood up in the middle of a friggin' match. I'm just going to like instantly just kill him as soon as this match starts. Because you just see the other guy realize, he's like, oh shit, and has to run back to the controller and just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's what you get for being an idiot. I mean, it's like, no, you got to make sure if you're going to celebrate, because I guess the guy who ended up winning the tournament was, I guess, some sort of like a god of fighting games. So, I mean, I guess he was just celebrating. That's like, hey, I actually beat the guy in a match,
Oh, yeah.
something like that. I don't know. I don't know the fighting tournaments. I don't know their celebrities or whatever well enough to have enough knowledge on that. But yeah, it was real funny because you're like, no, definitely do not gloat until you actually have won the game.
Until you see your name like winner, then you can celebrate. You always see that like in sporting events too. If you just Google like sports fails or something like that, there's people that are like running towards like the end zone in football, and they like dive into the thing, and they dive into the end zone, and they like do a flip over, but then they lose the ball, so the ball never crosses that touchdown line or whatever it is, so the touchdown didn't count, but he was all like celebrating. They're like, oh no, and then the other team gets the ball or something like that. It's always funny when people like screw themselves out of the point or whatever it is.
The one I remember that's pretty funny along that line is it was soccer. I don't remember what teams it was, but there was I think it was like just whatever the free kick, whatever the hell it's called. I don't know.
Penalty kick or something like that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But like the one where they start in the middle of the field and then they kick it at the goal.
Okay.
Well, the goalie's sitting there doing like cartwheels and stuff like that, just like gloating.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy just kind of easily kicks it in, and then the guy who kicked it in just all of a sudden does a cartwheel. He's just like, "Hey, asshole! There you go. Don't freaking gloat."
Nice. Yeah.
It's really funny. If I'll see if I can find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was just funnier than hell. You're just like, there's an ultimate. Hey, don't be a douchebag until you win.
It was that one. There was a movie like that too, where it was like a kids soccer thing, underdog type movie, and like the teams their team was winning, so the goalie wasn't doing anything. Like she was just playing around, or he was just playing around on the goalie thing, and then like the one moment, like the other team gets the ball and he's like, oh crap, what do I do? And he just misses it completely. It's always funny. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot what game it is. Like the Big Green or something. I don't remember. That could be football. I don't know.
They're all like the same movie.
Yeah.
Just different sports. You're like,
Yep. You got the
down on their luck. Kids have to overcome the rich kids or whatever.
The same formulaic characters. You got like the kid that's a nerd, or you got the kid that's weird, and you got the girl that's on the team. That's
the traditional girl who kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah.
We gotta have that.
Yeah.
It's a formulaic superhero movies. Yeah.
Exactly. Speaking of superhero movies,
accidental segue there.
Accidentally on purpose.
On purpose, I suppose.
Ant-Man. Ant-Man came out and it's doing fairly well.
Yeah,
it's not blowing up the box office, but it is number one at least on its.
The I guess kind of the general that I heard was it was a perfectly competent superhero movie.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a thumbs up, but not.
Way
it
up,
works, but not super great. Nothing mind blowing, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not. It doesn't sound like it's a bad movie.
Yeah, it is, and I saw it yesterday, and it was fine. It was not anything franchise pushing, like as far as like the what's the gauntlet thing, the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, okay. You mean you're talking about the overall story.
Further that storyline that much. It did introduce Ant-Man, and the story of it's pretty good, and the themes are pretty good. It's kind of not purely action or purely comedy. Yeah. There are some drama elements into it as well, because it's like a relationship between father-daughter things and things like that. So, and loss and crime and all that kind of stuff, and right and wrong, all those kinds of things are put in it. But the visuals are pretty good. Though Ant-Man is a ridiculous type character, he can shrink and communicate with ants, but they did it well. Like they did it. I mean, they threw some pseudoscience in there to explain things,
and lots of chroma key.
Yes. It's definitely with this kind of movie. It's a lot of CGI environments that the
they have
actors.
To. It's like no, they actually shrunk them.
they built a huge bathtub.
Could you imagine? That'd be awesome.
Like
oh my god, this thing is huge.
Exactly. Or they have like the stop motion, like what is it called? I guess, or claymation ants, like in the old science fiction days, they have like stop motion ants. Like
they just make giant ones. That's the size of a car.
It's like the director really wanted practical effects. They didn't want to do anything in the computer.
Oh no way! Yeah. No. It's supposed to be real.
That's
like we spent $400 million just on the bathtub alone.
Yeah.
Size of Kansas.
Yeah, it was a 10-second scene, but whatever.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. Like I said, it wasn't anything to write home about that well, but it was fine. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't have high expectations. That I went in with. I'm trying to do that with all new movies that I'm watching. I'm going in with lower expectations.
It's just for me, it's just like, like I've been saying these last couple of weeks, I just can't get excited for comic book movies anymore. I mean, they've just become like a yearly release, and they're just like, all right, occasionally go see one, and it's like, yep, it's more or less the same movie that I saw last year.
Yeah.
Just slightly different character doing slightly different things.
New power, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nothing against Marvel. It's just
it's just become like that with everything.
I think it's just kind of the limitations of movies. It's one of those, if you can't, you only have a certain amount of time. You don't have as much time to develop a story because you're not doing it on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a quick break real quick because Patrick just showed up. All right. All right,
we're back.
And Patrick is now here.
Thank you guys.
Or maybe he's been here the whole time, and he's just
joining me today.
Just really quiet about everything
on this episodes of Pod Thinking outside of.
Whoa, okay.
That's the more.
That's the advanced title.
There we go.
So Ant-Man, I just watched it, and the thing is, it's fine. It's good. It's not the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen, but it's a good movie.
So it didn't like do anything to like impress you.
I don't think there were some impressive elements into it, but I don't think it's set out to do that. I think it just set out to be a good movie,
story,
a fine movie, like
just
you were saying,
a
competent movie.
Yeah,
something to keep you watching Marvel. Fisher,
something to make you wait. I don't know. It didn't keep me watching. Like I said, I'm not a super big fan of comic book movies anymore. They're all the same movie over and over again, so it's just not my thing anymore. I think it's just something just to keep you, just something to I guess wet your palate for until they actually make actual
the next
content.
Big one.
Yeah. Civil War.
They got to, unfortunately, they've got it started where they got to keep putting out movies, so people keep, if they don't do it on a yearly basis, now people are going to get bored.
What I'm kind of worried about is they're taking a lot of major storylines, kind of diluting them a little bit, and then kind of throwing them all together. You know what I mean? Because the Civil War was a big storyline with what is it, Captain America and Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And the Infinity Gauntlet, that story is so much more than I think they're willing to do with it.
Well,
there's so many more parts to it. There's so many like crazy cool elements that I don't think they're going to really try to hit on some of that.
Well, what you got to remember is it's not that they don't want to hit on it. It's just it's the limitations of movies.
Yeah, it's
if you wanted to include all the comic book information, you're going to have to make probably like 6 or 7 movies just to fit all of it in.
Yeah.
And think of it, that's going to are people going to want to watch one storyline for 7-8 years,
Well, I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's like at that point, I think it is cool that they're kind of like, going off on separate stuff, but I just hope that they don't dilute each other. I hope each of them can stand. They create them to stand on their own enough to where they don't dilute the rest of the movies.
I think they are doing that. Because the comic book universe is so large and complex, they have stories upon stories upon stories to draw from. So I don't think they're going to run out of stories. Maybe at some point it is going to get tiring watching as many Thor 17.
Like Fisher said, as far as comic books, so comic book stories are basically the same thing. You have the initial superhero, you have his conflict, and then the resolution to every story. So I mean, it's
a new villain, villain's new scheme.
It is kind of it does get old. It does get kind of cliche. Now the thing that keeps it interesting is like what Guardians of the Galaxy did, is finding interesting ways to make that that journey worth watching.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, like the actual comic books, since they have more time to develop a story, develop the world, it's a lot more interesting because there's a lot more content. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those that's the problem with the movies, is they don't have enough time to really you can't.
You don't want to make like a 4.5-hour movie to explain everything.
Yeah, and you can't do that. It's the limitations of the medium, and that's just how it is. I mean, unfortunately, like you look at. Like you're talking also like with them condensing the story a little bit, because they don't have the time to flesh it out. But also the fact is you got to look at who they're trying to market to. Mm-hmm. They're trying to market towards like the younger, more of like the popcorn movie fans. Yeah, and if you've put a shit ton of story in it, they're going to go, why am I watching this? This isn't for me, because it's like I just want boom, explosions, boobs, that kind of stuff. That's what I want. I don't want...
They're not sitting there like critiquing the storyline like some of the people who grew up with these comic books.
Why aren't things exploding right now?
Their attention span is just like... All right.
I want that muscly guy to punch that blue guy. Why is it not happening right now?
And so that's kind of the unfortunate thing, is that ended up being kind of the main audience for these movies.
It's like think about it. Like I think the Lord of the Rings people, they did a real successful thing, of developing that story, and they did it over 6 movies, I think, in total.
Well, yes, there was
3 for the main story, and then they had 3 for the Hobbit.
Yeah, which is, and the Hobbit had things of like another book, Silmarillion, which is kind of like the background of Middle Earth and stuff like that. So they threw in stories like that. But the thing is, like, those movies cost so much. Yeah. And they had, and to put everything that Peter Jackson put in it cost them so much. So a lot of studios don't want to do that. That's the thing.
I guess so.
It worked for them, and I don't know how good The Hobbit did
I'm think sure it was pretty successful.
I'm sure it did well.
I don't think it was like a huge success. I don't think it was as big of a success as the original movies, but it definitely.
Yeah,
I thought they were good movies. Those last three that they had, I thought those were really good. Like I watched the second one first, and then as soon as I was done with that, I went online and I tried to find the first one. I watched the first one, and then I was like, all right, fuck, now I gotta wait, a year till
to get the
third one. And once the third one came out, as soon as I could get it, I got a chance, so I checked that one out.
No, they're all fine, and it's just I don't think studios are willing to spend the millions upon or hundreds of millions of dollars.
What do you think
to get everything
costs
in there
were for that? You think it was like just the locations and stuff like that? Because with the comic book movies, most of it's CGI anyways.
Well, also you got to remember they were making like 3-hour-long movies, and then with the extra content, it pushed it up to like maybe 4 hours. That's a lot of time, and filming you got to do.
Yeah,
that's a lot of movie to film. That's like 3 comic book movies put together almost.
Yeah, the thing is with movies, there's cost for everything, like locations, yes, extras, you got to pay them. CGI isn't cheap. It's a lot of
but I figure like green wall or blue wall, you know what I mean?
It is maybe cheaper than shooting on location, but I still think it's like animated movies.
Just the cost of having everything animated.
You still got because when you think of it, like with animation and stuff, it's probably cheaper than live location, but also with animation, you got to have a lot of people to do that. It's not just like one guy in his basement doing it. For maybe your smaller, your indie movies, it's maybe one guy in his basement doing it. But for
big
movies,
a team of people.
There's a lot. Like you ever look at the darn credits? There's
I've seen
20
like
people.
the animated movie for Disney. You know what I mean? Where it says like animators, and it's got like two
that's slightly,
and they're just like list of the shit.
That's slightly different because that's full on animation. Yeah, definitely. Purely animated movies are definitely gonna have a lot more staff for that.
The Pixar movies as well. You know what I mean? You see like they have like teams that do like background team. Animated background teams. So I mean, I guess
never just
it
one
does
person.
get costly at some point.
Well, and that's with all programming in general. Generally, it's not just one guy doing it.
You're just basically trading off the travel time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For
so I mean, you still got
you
still got to pay the programmers and all that stuff, and it's like that's a lot of work. It's not it's not an easy task.
Yeah, it's especially you see it like in full, like because the Marvel movies always have like the post credit scenes, so you have to watch like 2 minutes of animators, just a list of names. I'm just like, each one of those people is a person. That's crazy that they needed to get this movie done.
Then
you
see
guys
like
got a whole bunch of good stuff in here.
Then you see like the boom operators and stuff like that. I mean, you even got those little guys like the minimum wage guys. You still got to pay them, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah. So, and the post credit scenes, they did have a mid credit scene in Ant-Man. They had a middle credit scene where they had like the main people's names, like the actors' names. Then it showed like a middle scene credit, and that one just explained like a new character in the Ant-Man world, or something, a new thing in the Ant-Man world. And then they had an end credit scene, which kind of furthered the Civil War thing. So definitely, if you're going to go to the movies, wait for it all.
Well, I got a segue now.
Okay.
Speaking of movies and trailers in the Marvel Universe, the X-Men movie Apocalypse. First glance of those photos, what do y'all think of him?
I haven't seen them, so I don't know.
They showed Apocalypse and Psylocke and Storm, and they had the trailer with some of the other ones. I liked it.
Have you seen the trolls already calling him Ivan Ooze from the?
I was gonna say they had.
It looks like they just rented the costume.
Yeah, they
from
showed
the
never before seen thing, and it had like what was her name? Rita. Was it Rita? In
from
Power
Rangers,
and Rita, the other guy, and then had Apocalypse in the middle. He does kind of look like Ivan Ooze. He's bluish and has like armor, like a football.
It is awful,
pads
dude.
looking thing.
Awful. It looks like Ivan Ooze.
But
man.
the thing is, with Psylocke, Olivia Munn is the actress playing Psylocke. It looks
Olivia Munn, really? Wow.
Yeah, she's from Attack of the Show.
Yeah,
G4.
I'm like, she still has work. It's like I never thought she was that good in the first place. So I guess that's just my personal opinion.
Well, I mean, it goes on to that thing with like the attractive.
I guess
girl.
so.
I mean, they know what they're doing when they're casting, and
her
to
costume. Dress up
in
a maid costume and jump in a big giant pie. I guess.
Yep, I saw that.
Psylocke was always one of the cooler X-Men in the comic books. I think. I don't know why they waited so long to pull her out to bring her out.
But yeah, so it showed her costume, and it's very faithful to the comic books.
Yeah, it's almost the exact same. I think it is the exact same costume.
Yeah. So and the thing with like Deadpool, like I read a story that a lot of these movies are getting more faithful to the comic book things. They're not going.
Yeah. Angel and his metal wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Show everybody here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's it's good. I think that's good. I think the article I read, the reason why it's happening is because people are finally getting used to comic book.
Well,
movies.
Probably what's happening is also a mixture of that, and there's probably a lot more people actually reading the comic books now because they're like, oh, you get the few people who kind of watch it and are like, well, there's not enough story. Let me go actually find out what the hell the story is.
I like this character. I want to see more
know
from
more
them.
about it. And then they go buy the comic books or whatever, and now they're like, oh, now I realize how far off they actually are from the comic books. And
yes. Yeah, they were saying in the thing, it's like we finally got past the suspension of belief that people can have these powers, so they can go back and do like the weird costumes now. Because, like, especially with Apocalypse, he looks weird.
I don't know. Like I saw a meme. There was a bunch of memes I saw, dude, and one of the ones that I loved was they showed 3 pictures, and the top 2 look fucking awesome. Like they're Apocalypse, and it looks awesome, dude. And then you get the third one is the one that actually is Apocalypse in the movie. And then at the bottom, it says 2 of these are cosplay, and one of these is a full-on studio costume set. And I was like, dude, winter cosplay.
Yeah, there's those like I saw one of the Apocalypse cosplays,
it looks fucking awesome.
It looks like what Apocalypse looks like.
Should
he has
look
he has like the lines on his lips or whatever it is, like Apocalypse looks like. And I'm like, wow, that looks
awesome.
looks like it could be in a movie right there, but it's a guy on a convention floor.
No, I mean,
and they do spend a lot of money on that. I'm like, why do movies not?
Do you know what I'm saying? If this dude can put it together in his basement or his attic, you know what I mean? Why can't you guys do something that awesome?
Well, they can. It's just they don't care.
They
they
throw a lot.
I'm starting to feel like that. Like maybe they just don't care. Maybe they're just like, all right, let's just pump out another.
They're trying to make money. That's
kind of like the Fantastic Four, the Silver Surfer, the way you never see Galactus. It's just kind of like this.
He's a
big
storm.
Black mass.
It's
like, come on, man.
Well, the thing is with those kind of movies, like back then, like because that's when like superhero movies were just kind of rolling. They weren't as
but that was
established.
A bad cast. I think that was an awful cast for that, with the exception of the Thing and the Human Torch. The other 2 guys, the Richards,
they were fine. I didn't mind that cast. And Jessica Alba, I'd like to see her in anything, whatever.
Man,
but
she's a horrible actress.
She's a bad actress. Yes,
she's a horrible actress. And the other guy,
just mute her scenes, whatever.
Yeah, for real.
No, but I agree with that. But like I was saying with Galactus, like it was at a point when comic book movies weren't that. That's what I'm saying. Like they don't have to be faithful. They can make it like different because people wouldn't want to see a huge guy in a purple costume and like horn things, weird things out of his head. So they had to go some route that was a bit more believable or easier to swallow.
The thing is that the X-Men and the Avengers can't ever cross over because of studio conflicts, right?
Well, X-Men and what?
And Avengers.
Because X-Men's owned by Sony, I think.
Yeah, the studio rights are involved. That's
with the Infinity Gauntlet stuff. Some of the X-Men actually got recruited to join the Avengers, like the Incredible Hulk. Not the Incredible Hulk, like Wolverine. Spider-Man was even a part of that for a minute.
Yeah,
so you could technically soak up some of those, and if you did that. With Apocalypse fights every fucking buddy, So you could do like the Age of Apocalypse story and include the Avengers and the X-Men now, as well as like the Gambit, because I know Gambit's got a movie. Maybe Deadpool with X-Force, because Deadpool is a member of X-Force. Oh no, Shatterstar. Sorry, not Deadpool, but Deadpool is like that opens up like a whole nother freaking like 5 superhero groups. You know what I mean?
It's the studios thing that it kind of messes up a lot of that stuff. But you also get to the point where. Like if Marvel still had all their rights to everything, and they made like a movie with everybody, like a true to life crossover heavy movie, would you really want to see it? Like, I know people would say yes, but it'd
be so crazy. You'd have what the hell's going on.
The crossover would be like a like a trilogy in itself, though. That's what would make it interesting. Is that something like in the comic books, you have to go through like maybe 3 comics to establish what's happening with one group, and then you go to another series of another comic book and read a couple in there to fill in. Yeah. So I mean, it would be like it would be like a trilogy, man.
I would like to see it, but like you get to that point where like there was a thing, Parks and Rec had Patton Oswalt on it, and he was doing like a filibuster just to not pass a law, and he was like, "Now I'm going to read you my script of the ultimate comic book movie," and he's like, because Disney just bought Star Wars now, and they have Marvel, they can throw Star Wars into Marvel things. So they had like
Skywalker pops up.
They had like Han Solo, the Millennium Falcon, and then they had like Thanos and everybody in it, like, and it was ridiculous. And he had like other like X-Men were in it and everything. He just threw everything. Like, it's a really good clip because it's ridiculous. And he's like, and he knows how to write, so he's like, fade in, open on the Sarlacc pit with the hand of Boba Fett coming out. So you have Boba Fett in there, and then he's like, then all of a sudden you get the like the X-wing swooping in, and it's so like those movies.
Find that clip with Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, it's out there. I'll get it. But the thing is, it's like those movies. If you do it true to life or true to the comic books, they're complicated.
It's never
stories.
ending. Yeah, it's like a fucking 18-hour trilogy each movie.
Like a 24-hour movie, like
24-hour Marvel Fest.
All right, we got through episode or issue 1 through 5.
1 of 5. All right, guys.
There's a lot of backstory we had to get you.
Come back all next weekend for the rest.
Oh gosh, but yeah. So I like how it's
Age
going
of
right
Apocalypse now. Marvel, do it.
They're doing it. That's what the Apocalypse thing is.
I hope they do. They're doing like the original Apocalypse. I want them to do like when everything gets flipped over.
Okay, well,
the Age of Apocalypse, like maybe you were listening. Fuck. Maybe they were listening this whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe every time I said do the Age of Apocalypse, Marvel, they're like, oh well, shit. And they were like, Patrick's right. Maybe we should do that. But maybe I should have specified the second Age of Apocalypse, not like his first coming, but like when he returns and brings like Holocaust and all them with him.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
Well, but if you don't have the first one, it's like, how are you supposed to, for people who haven't read the comic books, how are they supposed to know what the hell's going on? It's like, who the hell is this guy?
I guess the start of
there
it.
still is a chance.
Yeah, this could be just
a
start.
There's still a chance.
Maybe a shorter movie with like an intro of who the hell he is, and then move on to another one with more meat and stuff to it.
Because
I don't know.
Days of Future Past, they did their end credit scene was they had the kid Apocalypse. You don't really see his face, but you see his like up on like a pyramid or something, and you see like the crowd of people chanting his name, and then then it pans over to like the horsemen,
the 4 horsemen.
Yeah,
Hell
so it's possible. This could be just the start of that. I mean, Marvel's doing the Infinity Gauntlet story arc, and now they're doing.
I'd like to see that
X-Men are doing.
I hope they do that well, because if they do, it's an awesome story, man. That's one of my favorite Marvel superhero stories.
Yeah, they still have a couple Infinity Stones to get to. One or two.
Who are you guys' favorite superheroes, and what superhero or what supervillain would you like to see in the next kind of movie?
Well, no, Marvel. I think the Marvel stuff is fine. My favorite of the Marvel
Who's your favorite
people
superhero in any comic book?
Well, I don't read comic books, so
I never really got into comic books.
Like Spawn, y'all know Spawn, right?
I've heard of Spawn.
The Max.
I didn't watch a movie because I thought it would be scary when I was a kid.
It was okay. It was okay back when I was young. Like if I watched it now,
I think the movie was awful.
Like now, if I as a kid, I enjoyed it. Yeah. Probably now, if I watched it, I go, that's a horrible movie.
The best part was the soundtrack. It was dark like The Crow, because I think it was around the time The Crow was out.
Yeah, when that was like that dark anti-hero.
So it's real dark anti-hero, and the soundtrack kicks ass. But the movie itself,
are you sure it does, or is it like 80s punk rock stuff?
No, it's 90s techno industrial rock, like
something like that.
Crystal Method and Method Man, or no, who was it? Crystal Method and. It's got like a bunch of mix of bands, like rock bands and rap groups, and they do a bunch of good songs on there. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll find the link and send it to them so you guys can check it out.
I'm sure
YouTube.
it's on the trailer, like there's a good score. But yeah, I never watched it because I thought it would be scary.
But like the comic book on that, it's more supernatural. He's got more mystical powers. In the movie, it was just more like,
But yeah, so I don't really have the comic books to draw on as far. But
so from the superheroes you do know,
I mean, I would like a better Green Lantern movie.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't really know much about Green Lantern other than what I saw on like Justice League, like the cartoons. But he's always been my favorite character. But as far as Marvel, I don't know. They're doing fine. I think the Deadpool movie is going to be funny.
Any bad guys that you want to see brought up, or
Thanos? I don't know. Not really. I don't really know any.
At one point, he was the most powerful being in the whole universe. Thanos, with the Infinity Gauntlet that just multiplied his power.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know any I every time I think of a bad guy, I think back to like the movies Bad Guys, and they're doing those okay. And I don't really read comics, so I don't really know any of the people that they don't do.
Fisher, anything?
See, it's like for me, I mean, I don't watch or I don't read a lot of the comic books and stuff. Like the most I probably got in the comic books was they had not Justice League, but they had a series called Young Justice, and it was basically Justice League but with like the sidekicks. and they ran it out on Cartoon Network, and I went ahead and I bought it on Amazon or whatever, and I watched that all the way through, and that was wildly entertaining. Like, I'd love to see more of like something like that, where it's like a Justice League, like the sidekicks and stuff. Because I mean, it was like Robin, they had like a Martian Manhunter, like had like a niece or something like that. They had Speedy. I mean, they had like Superboy. I mean, it was really cool. It's a really good series. It was. There's 2 seasons of it. I thought they were going to do more, but I don't think it went through. But I mean, the first season, it was great. I loved watching it. I mean, it was really entertaining. I'd love to see more sidekicks in the movies.
Well, I was always like a Robin fan of Robin, Batman, and Robin.
That's a good point. There haven't been really any sidekicks.
And you know what else though? I'm upset
superhero
with
movies.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm upset with is the way they used Bucky in the Captain America movies.
Is that something that really happened though? Did he ever become the Winter Soldier?
You see, the thing is, Bucky, the sidekick of Captain America, wears a mask like the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
And he does that because Bucky is not superhuman.
Mm-hmm.
He has no powers. He's just some dude that happens to hang out with Captain America. Well, at first, because the knock is that Captain America has gone through like 8 or 9 Buckys. You know what I mean? He's a super soldier. He's been alive forever.
Yeah.
So he's seen his friend, come and go plenty of times, and that's why they wear the mask now, so that you always think it's the same one, but it's another one.
Okay.
Okay, because he doesn't live forever. He can't run fast, and actually, I think some of the comic books he actually gets killed, trying to help Captain America out.
Sounds more, realistic,
so
or in a comic book way.
Yeah, that's his homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like when you look at it, like all the like the sidekicks. There's a lot of them. Like there's a lot of Robins.
Yeah,
Some of them become like Nightwing and stuff like that. Like they have all sorts of cool stories, and it's just that's one thing that the comic book movies haven't explored is
like at all.
Like the dynamic between a superhero and a sidekick, because that's actually a huge part of comic books.
I think the one that they started to do that one was the worst Batman movie I can imagine.
Yes,
where they had the conflict between Batman and Robin, and that was the one thing that kind of kept me interested in that movie is like they were at each other.
What was weird was they did it at they had Robin be like a full-grown man. Robin's supposed to be a younger kid, like a younger teenager. I think the dynamic of that.
Yeah, but that's kind of weird because they had all that Michael Jackson stuff with men and kids. They didn't want to do something like that.
Now you could probably do it and be all right. And I think that because that's when I picture Robin, I don't picture him as a 26-year-old guy. I think of him as maybe 15, 16, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, he's boy wonder. I mean, that's
boy wonder.
That's I mean, it's I would love to see a lot more of the sidekicks. I think they need to start exploring that.
Do you think that they could do that though? Do you think that
the sidekicks got enough meat to handle it on their own?
Well, like I said, if you'd have to do like a
like a Robin or a Bucky, somebody who's got plenty of fucking background story.
Yeah, I mean, like you do like the main ones and stuff, but I mean, you tie it in with like you wouldn't necessarily just do a movie just about Robin. You do it like a Batman, like you try to do like the Batman and Robin movie, but actually do it right, do it a little bit.
Maybe like a Robin series on Netflix for a season.
Like I mean, like okay, like I mean, maybe do live action stuff. I mean, that'd be cool. Do more series.
I still haven't even seen that Flash show. Is that one any good?
It's good.
I've seen a few episodes of it. It was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get into a lot of TV shows anymore.
No, it's good. It's good. They have a bunch of villains and stuff, and it's kind of like a villain a week or like a freak of the week type show where they have a different bad guy every week, and it gets resolved. But there's like an overarching story about him trying to find the person who killed his mom and stuff like that. So no, it's fine. It's good. It's cast okay, and the visuals are okay for TV. Like it's not like you can always tell like all right.
Well, I mean,
TV graphics, but that's what you expect.
I think at this point, any kind of graphics software is after I think like Avatar, it just kind of stuck there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, oh shit, we did Avatar with it. Fuck it, let's just keep using it. You know what I mean?
Well, when you think of it, how much further can you go? I mean, that's one of those things of we're starting to get to
like
a point.
It's like that Beowulf, like Avatar. Those animated ones that look real. I mean, I think that's about as far as I
don't know if they've got there yet. Like if you ever seen like the Final Fantasy 3D or
like the new
animated
tech demo or whatever.
Like the Final Fantasy movies, like animated movies.
Yeah,
like those are like the most realistic people I've ever seen on like a 3D animated thing, but they still look animated.
Cartoons.
So there's still somewhere to go.
Here's the problem though. If you're making an animation, would you really want to animate a purely real-looking human? It's not animation anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean,
so.
It's weird. I mean, and I don't think
Why would you spend the money to pay Fisher to sit there and program a real human being when I can give some dude $50?
Get another human and dress him, put him a wig, and say, "All right, you're now Fisher." There you go.
You're now Fisher.
It's true, but I mean, you also get to the movies like Polar Express, where they do like the live action motion capture Tom Hanks, and it looks bad. Like they wanted it to be realistic, but he looked bad. Like he looked like that Uncanny Valley thing, where it's like it's so close to humans that it looks weird to us because it's not humans.
Well, the thing is it's always gonna. You know, I don't think we'll ever get to a point to where computers actually look like real. If it does, then it's like like we said, what's the point? But it's just no matter what, it's like you're still looking at a screen. It's still gonna look weird. It's if it doesn't, then that's odd. To me, it'd be weird. It's like this is a completely computer world. And then we're boned because then it's like, all right, let's just stick this guy in the middle of like holographs that all look real and go, oh yeah, by the way, your entire world is all just fake pictures we put up.
Just pretend.
Matrix.
Truman World
just
shit.
Pretend.
Or Truman Show shit.
Hey, we got some comments. I'll get to them afterward, right?
Okay.
We'll be back to your comments.
Yeah, we'll address them in a bit. I don't know. I think they're always trying to push the limits of technology and things like that. So I think they're trying to do it, but I do see your point.
We just get to a
but
point
I think there's still a way to go.
Oh well, people will still do it. Yes. Yeah. But however,
why?
I think we're starting to get to a point to where it's like we've kind of more or less reached getting closer and closer to that highest pinnacle. Now it's not necessarily going to be how to make it look fancier. It's going to be how to present it differently.
I know how. We can paint human beings like cartoons and then act it out, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
Be like, man, that independent film is like really good with their CGI, and they're like, "Yep, awesome. CGI."
Yep.
We'll like paint like Wolverine on my front so that I can like act like him like this, and it's like paper doll action,
Like, what was that thing where they had to like in what was that movie? Be Kind, Rewind. Yes. Have you ever seen that movie with Jack Black and Mos Def?
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh well, see it. It's ridiculous. They make these really bad adaptations of movies.
Oh shit! I think they work at a video store, right?
Yeah, and they accidentally erased all the videos, and people wanted to get videos, so they had to make their own versions of the movies. I remember
hearing about this.
And they had to do a Ghostbusters thing, but it was they were making Ghostbusters, and they had to do it at night. So what they did is they shot their camera in negative, but they got negatives of their faces, and they taped just pictures of their faces negative. So when the camera got it got it backwards.
So it looked like
it was normal on their faces, but negative everywhere else. That's how they faked a night scene during the day, because they were like, we need to get this movie done by tonight, but we need to shoot this scene that happens in the dark. So
that's what it's about. They erase all the movies and they go back trying to film them.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Jack Black gets electrocuted and then he becomes magnetized, and then so he's like browsing a video store, just erasing all the videos accidentally. So and then like this one lady, like they're at like a struggling video store, like a VHS store. And
still exist.
Yeah, well, it was about that time whenever like DVDs were just coming out in the story.
For those of you young viewers who are listening, VHS is a big giant like rectangle thing.
It's like a giant cassette tape.
It's like
Guardians
of the Galaxy.
For those of you who don't know what a cassette tape is, that's basically an old it's audio version of an old VCR tape.
Yeah. It's that thing from Guardians of the Galaxy, like Jimmy said.
A little bit bigger, and it does video.
You ever see the picture of like the little rectangle with like the little wheels in it and a pencil next to it? That the square things are a cassette.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what VHS is, it looks like cassette tapes. For those of you who don't know what cassette tapes are,
man,
you're too young. Go to Wiki it.
Yeah,
look up on
you guys haven't lived until you had a Walkman fall out of your pocket while you're skateboarding.
And then the cassette flies and the tape is all over the place. You're like,
the Walkman pops open, the cassette tears apart, and then like the rest of the time you gotta like smash it back together and use duct tape to listen to anything properly.
Yep. I remember.
But it was much better. I mean, at least you could drop it a couple times. Not like those those Discmans. After one drop of that thing from like your hand, the distance from your hand to the floor, one drop of that, and your laser's done.
I remember Discman. I used to want one.
Yeah. I think I had one.
It's like $85 down the fucking toilet.
I didn't. Never.
I mean, it was a little thing, not much bigger than like a CD disc, and I mean it was but
those things suck too because they wouldn't fit in your pockets.
Yeah, and like you try to walk with it, and it would jerk the CD around.
Anti-skipping software.
Yeah, no, I had one. I had a CD player. There was this thing called like a disc. They had like mini discs.
Okay.
Like it was like it was after CDs, but before really MP3s.
Yeah.
They're like mini discs. That's what I was talking about. I thought it was called a disc.
Oh yeah, the video.
Yeah,
no.
There used to be. It used to be like a little portable player, and you'd stick in your headphones.
Well, you guys remember laser discs, right? Those big
the big
CDs?
giant ones. Yeah, those were. Yeah, like I never really had too much experience with them. I have seen them before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that was a little bit before my time.
Yeah, my dad worked at an electronics store, and the store had a laser disc rental thing. So every time he'd go out, he'd leave work, he'd grab a disc of some movie and we'd watch it, and he had a laser disc player. It's ridiculous.
They're huge,
yeah. For people that don't know,
it looks
like
a
record. DVD, but bigger.
Like a record,
but they don't know what records are. You can't say.
Those of you don't know what records are, it's like a CD, but
CD's and a little bit smaller.
An analog.
It depends. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
An analog.
You had the little needle that would go in and play the music.
We're gonna have an I Love the '80s special.
There'll be a point where kids don't know anything. They won't think it was things were ever physical. They won't know. Everything's I guess kids now
digital,
everything's
more or less.
Everything's a file now.
No, there's no mail. You email now.
What do you mean you had a thing that played just one thing?
They never seen corded phones.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
there was this tweet that I saw that was on Imager, and it was all people his daughter asked him, why do they call it hanging up a phone? Hanging up. And it's because these days it used to be a thing where you had to actually hang up a phone, but now phones it's just you push a button to end the call now.
Yeah.
So there's no hanging up.
That sucks though, because how is somebody supposed to realize how pissed off I am when I pushing a button?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the old day when you fuck this and you hit the phone on the side of the booth for a minute and then you hang it up. And
that's like the Mitch Hedberg joke. He's all like, I had a fight with my girlfriend while we were camping, and I couldn't display my anger by zipping up the tent really quickly or anything. He couldn't slam the flap.
Yeah, you can't slam a flap. That's what I'm saying. Nobody will ever know. Kids nowadays will never know the enjoyment of how much it feels like. No. Ping. You know
I think we've reached old man status now because we're now talking talking about kids.
We're gonna have to dedicate an episode to this, man, because I think this is
just teaching. Just
going back to old pop culture shit and how weird and cool it was and different and stupid it is now.
Yeah, I mean, I never I guess when I was really young. Cassettes were still a thing, and CDs were just starting to happen. But I remember having a bunch of cassettes that my dad had and gave me or something, or I bought it a garage sale or something.
I remember being in my dad's car with it. He had an 8-track player in it. You know what I mean?
I've never been around an 8-track.
I know
he had a shoebox full of them in the back seat. And he would pull one out and put in another one.
Yeah, that's kind of like a cassette that goes into almost like a radio type deal.
Yeah, it's like a giant.
Stick it in.
It's like a.
Basically like a Nintendo.
It's about the size of a tablet. It's about the size of a tablet.
It's like a Nintendo cartridge, but they don't know what that is either. It's like we have to keep going. Okay, it's like a Pop-Tart kind of. Looks like a Pop-Tart.
Shape of a Pop-Tart.
But stick it in another bigger machine.
Instead of filling, it's music. and you have a toaster in your car, and you put the Pop-Tart 8-track in. And
yes, it's about
instead of cooking,
it's probably about 3 Pop-Tarts thick.
Oh gosh!
Instead of fruit filling, it's got this magnetic tape like a VHS, which is the bigger version of a cassette tape, which is what people used to listen to on music before.
Oh man!
How tapes work, we don't know. Magnets, I think.
Magnets, dude.
I think there's magnets involved in it.
Like that.
I don't know.
Yes.
Don't ask us that. We know the shape of things.
This is
It's not relevant anymore. It used to be. I'm
gonna have to put together some stuff. Maybe we can do a show.
Yeah, start put up a list of stuff like
at
that.
At least a segment on this stuff, because this is
old technology.
Old episode.
Yeah, man, just old technology segments, because like I said, dude, kids nowadays will never know, and at least we'll be, providing a personal safety announcement. What is it, PSAs?
I guess.
PSA. We'll put out a PSA about how shit used to be.
Okay, I don't think it's PSA. I think it's more of like a mini documentary. Would be more
whatever.
Yes, it does matter.
These guys.
Let's see.
Can't take them anywhere.
Segue.
Segue. Dan Aykroyd tweeted out confirmation.
Speaking of technology, would you guys go to a hotel run by robots?
No.
Why not?
Well, yes. Yes. Are there police robots?
I mean, I'm sure there's like security cameras and stuff. And
no, cameras is cool. You can run away from a camera.
But I'm sure if they all
say we
all
had
have guns.
robot cameras.
Also
we had armed thinking cameras.
But I'm
you
sure
try to steal, all of a sudden a gun just pops out and shoots you. You're like, oh shit.
I think they said it's like 90% robots. So I think there's still maybe a security guard maybe somewhere.
I think that would be, like if it were just maybe like a few robots going around, cool. But mostly robots, I think that'd be a little weird.
I mean, but the thing is with hotels, what do you really do?
What do you need
with
humans?
humans?
You have sex in a robot with them in a robot hotel.
Well, here's
you don't have robot prostitutes.
Well, what I wonder is it like a robot that just has like generic talk, or is it like one of the robots that has like an iPad with somebody that you can talk to?
Or is it like one of those sex bots with like real skin and shit on it?
It's in Japan, so it's got those.
So it probably is a sex bot.
Android looking robots.
I think that'd be weird because you're just like
the Android system robot, the green Android thing.
No, like the like realistic looking robots.
I thought you meant like Android.
No,
Android.
Like
it's Japan, so it's probably an Android.
Yeah, human looking robots. Like they have like fake skin and they look.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Weird.
Like those. Yeah,
but that's because really all you in hotels you. And the receptionist, of course, you have to talk to them, which could just be a push button kiosk for all I care.
Or like Idiocracy, that what is wrong with you?
Yeah, what hurts? And you point to your head,
your stomach. There we go.
Yeah. So like that, and then room service. Really, it can be a kiosk as well, or a.
What would you like to eat? And it's like burger, pasta, salad.
I mean, you could do that.
I think this world is good for me because I don't like talking to people.
Really?
I'm not social, like outside of this podcast.
Oh, well, to me, it's one of those. I'm not a very social person either, but with stuff like that, I think I would prefer to have a human that I can interact with.
They are more understanding.
If something is wrong, the robot's going to go.
You're fucked.
Yeah, it's like, what is it going to do?
It'd be like error.
It's like, hey, my apartment, or the hotel's on fire. Robot's going to go, what the hell's fire?
Please call 911.
See, but if I was going to have robots in a hotel, what I would want is a little R2D2 to deliver stuff.
I think
that would be amazing.
Like an actual, should make an R2D2 ice chest.
Because what would be really cool is if you could sit there and you can have like little cameras, you can watch it. Like it'd go from the kitchen or whatever. They'd stick it on the robot. And it'd drive. It'd go into a little compartment and go up an elevator.
You know what would be even cooler if you could get a microchip implanted and use the Force to call him, right? Have a chip in your brain and you just think about it and he rolls out with something you wanted.
That'd be awesome,
dude. So what if it was like still like the beta version? So like you're like thinking beer and he comes with like some other like crazy like dog shit.
Yeah, it's like dog food. It's like, why'd you bring that? It's like, well, you thought of it. It's your fault.
You still got to work out some bugs.
That'd be one where
I was watching Animal Planet. Dang it. He brings like,
oh man.
But I think it'd be fine. I think it would be cool. The thing is, it doesn't. I don't really talk to people really, so I'm fine robots, I'm fine talking about robots. But I do see what you're saying. Like the people, it's always good to talk to a person. Like whenever I do like calls on like for customer service or something, I always like push 0 until I can talk to a person.
Yeah, because like if a robot, it'd just be like, did you unplug your computer?
Yes.
Is it plugged in?
Yes.
Like,
have you turned it on?
Keep going through all
the
that.
computer's just like, all right, I don't know what the hell your problem is.
I just want to explain my problem and be done with this. I just want to say it's not doing this one thing.
I don't need to tell you.
Tell me what to do.
30 things it's not doing. Right?
Yeah.
I just want to just let me talk to a person. That's why I always like hit 0 until.
So what if you did that and you still ended up talking to a robot? How would you feel about that?
I'd be wondering why I'm calling on the phone when I can just Google.
Yeah. No, Jimmy.
I can just Google anything.
You will not talk to a person. You will talk to a robot.
Well, if you can Google it, why are you calling in the first place? You could have just Googled it.
Yeah, I think it's really like with like bills and stuff. Like if like Time Warner, I have a question with Time Warner. That's really the only point.
Why the fuck is my Wi-Fi so slow?
Exactly. Yeah. So. That's the only point.
How do I steal my neighbor's Wi-Fi?
What's my neighbor's password?
Dude,
I mean, what's my password? I'm my neighbor. I mean,
we should prank call Time Warner. We're gonna
no.
prank call Time Warner.
No.
At the end of the show.
No, I will not be part of this.
It's just extra special content. Oh,
I got a message or
at Totpod.
A Twitter follower.
Just Twitter.
Thank you, Twitter follower. You can't hear us. Let's see.
They can. I
don't know. I'd be fine with it. It is because they weren't that expensive. It was like, but they were doing this weird thing where like you have to like auction off like rooms because it was like
probably really popular.
Yeah, it's really popular.
The first
That's
of
the
its
thing.
kind.
Yeah. So how are we on time?
Probably another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Or so.
All right. Last topic, I guess. Or maybe last topic. Anything someone's really wanting to talk about?
Did we talk about Pluto last time?
We haven't talked about Pluto yet.
I haven't. I saw some of the initial pictures, and
the planet Pluto.
Yeah.
The planet.
Not the dog.
I don't know, dog too.
Not the dwarf planet, the actual planet Pluto. It's not.
It's not a moon.
I don't like that it's not a planet anymore.
Well, it's a dwarf planet.
Well, still.
It's a bat.
So it's kind of a
It's a planet inhabited by dwarves.
I don't like any of those.
It's a small planet.
It's a dwarf planet.
That's where the dwarves are from Lord of the Rings, man. Where do you think they recruited them from? Why do you think it took so long to make those movies? Because they had to wait for them to get here.
Pluto is Middle Earth.
Yeah. No, well, I don't know about that, but like when she wrote the book, they casted the story when she wrote the book, and it took them from that time until they shot the film for them to travel from Pluto. They're Plutonians.
Okay.
Maybe.
Sure.
They're dwarvish Plutonians.
Dwarvish Plutonians. That's my new D&D character class.
Yeah, heck yes. Dwarvish Plutonian. Well, what would your magical powers be as a Plutonian? Like doors, we already know what doors do.
Survive cold?
I guess you'd have ice powers.
Breathe in 0 G's.
Yeah, like you.
What?
You'd probably be able to fly, right? Like Superman, because of the density of your body.
No, you'd be probably screwed because then the gravity would be so much greater than on Pluto.
Yeah, so then you'd be like heavy. Your bones, you'd be like a puddle.
You're like, I can't jump more than an inch.
You'd have to crawl, like, essentially.
Your body would go, what the hell is all this gravity?
And why is there not like methane in the atmosphere?
I can't. That's why they're so short here. They're actually giants, but when they get in here, they like shrink down because the gravity compresses.
Their body just compresses.
Their body compresses.
That's a story we need to write.
Dude, that's my new that's your new D&D character.
We need to write that story. Like the reason why like leprechauns and like any like short characters or short fictional things is because they're actually aliens from
that's what I'm
smaller
saying.
planets
with less gravity. That's funny. That's actually pretty funny.
Like halflings have
they just evolved that way.
Like halflings have like a +2 dexterity, +4 dexterity. You know, thieves have +1 for like. What would your skills and stuff be as a fucking inhabitant of Pluto?
I mean, +20 for charisma.
Yeah,
it's a charismatic.
they're just so attractive.
They're really short and attractive. We don't know why.
Really short and attractive. They're really short and they still get more ass than anyone.
You never know.
Well, they're at that level anyway.
Whoa. Jimmy, that's like
I'm sorry.
Size. Well, what would sizist be? What would we call that? It's like if you're racist against
that's
someone's
not
size.
bad. I wasn't saying anything bad.
Well, I don't know, man.
I wasn't.
Well, I mean, it
was a compliment.
Technically, still be racist.
What do midgets call tall people? Is there a slang slur word for tall people that midgets use? Can I say midget?
I mean,
technically
it's little people, right? Or
derogatory term, I guess. But
can I say dwarfs?
I don't know exactly what
I think the correct term is. I think the politically correct term is little person.
Little persons.
Yeah, I don't think.
Why not just call them person? You know,
that's the thing. Like, they're people.
They're little.
They're just people.
They're little.
They're just people.
Moly.
Well, to me, you guys are little, so I mean, geez.
No, you're just freakishly freaking whatever.
I was like, no, I'm not too tall. You guys are just too short.
You're the weird one.
What they didn't tell you is that when you were a kid, they experimented on you in all these places you traveled to, and that's why you turned out like that.
That's always fun growing up. Everybody,
you got the serum. You got the serum before Steve Rogers.
Instead of making you a super soldier, just made you taller.
Hey, you're super taller.
No,
and you're probably like 90 years old.
Hey, all right,
but you still look. You look great for 90.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it is working. It is cool.
It's like, what happened to those? The 60 years. I'm like, oh no.
I was watching. What was it? Nick Swartzen the other night, man. A comedy special, and I love this comedy. Sometimes I think it was the one that he filmed in Austin, maybe a few years back at the
I haven't seen any recent stuff of his.
Man, he's so funny, dude. The one thing that I love that he does, he's like, he goes, if you think about it, he goes, in a few years, everybody that like grew up in like my generation is going to be old and they're going to have kids and then their kids will have kids. He goes, so at a certain point, you're going to be walking around your house with your cane and going, oh, where's my Dre CD? Where's my Dr. Dre CD?
Yeah.
He goes, then you're going to find it, you're going to put it on, and you start dancing. He goes, and your grandkids will be looking at you and be like,
Grandpa, turn down that music.
Oh, no, fucking banging hoes. Your grandma was a hoe.
It's going to be like
he goes, can you imagine how that's going to turn out? You know, like, he goes, He goes, we lucked out by having like the 50s and 60s where your grandparents were more conservative. Then he goes, nowadays Nicki Minaj has a song about eating ass. You know what I'm saying? It's like whoa. I mean maybe after a few drinks and shit, but don't just expect me to automatically go down up in that shit.
Yeah, we're gonna have like our grandpa, like our generation as grandpas are gonna be like tattooed and pierced, and it's gonna be weird.
What's what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the same token. It's the other end of the spectrum. You're gonna have all these like. All these hip hop people all, doing the same shit when they're like 80 years old.
Well, the thing is, and that means like the kids are going to be even worse. Like,
because
that's going to scale
too.
Who knows
what kind of other fucking like dubstep? Nobody thought dubstep was going to exist a few years ago.
Like if grandpas are like good now and kids are bad, like that's just going to shift, and then the kids are just going to be just terrible people.
It's like look, the way I think about it is like with Skrillex, dude. Skrillex, dude, come on! And as soon as I heard him, like I could tell where he got most of his inspiration from. It was like from old Aphex Twin from like the late '80s, early '90s. Mm-hmm. That kind of crazy industrial psycho trance stuff. It was awesome. I love that stuff. But like this dude was into that, but he was obviously into like beats and like DJing and shit.
Yeah.
So he kind of like combined the two and like created this crazy new shit that everybody loves.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the way I see things happening from here on out. Now, it's not going to be like. It's going to have an original origin, but I think nowadays everything is going to evolve so much faster. Like jazz evolved from like some other other music. Like it took
slowly,
years. It took years to evolve into the like blues, jazz, stuff like that. Nowadays it's just going to be like a crash course of fucking pop culture things that are colliding, and
or it's just going to start over, and we'll start listening to like swing and jazz. Like,
no, they had that chance. Remember, like back in like the late '90s, they had like that swing dance stuff was trying to come back, and I mean it was popular for a little while, but no, I don't see us going back that far unless like you mix swing dance with like death metal. You know what I'm saying?
They've got that. I can't remember what the genre is, but there's like some sort of already like an electric jazz or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a pop jazz. Almost.
Be more like a new wave fusion.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something like that. It's like new age jazz or something.
There's
like that.
Like every band that I've played with. There was a joke we had when you play with a band. You're like, well, what do you guys know? Like, go something fusion. It's like, all right, these guys have no idea.
Yeah, it was like, all right, you're just banging on
just
stuff.
Whatever.
It's like that Spinal Tap thing.
We would automatically just be like, all right, we're never playing with these guys again.
Yeah, I don't know. Music, I don't know. I don't like dubstep other than it being like the soundtrack of like an action sequence. Like that, like whenever, like there's this one.
It's not something you're going to listen to while you clean your apartment.
I can't understand people listening to it like doing nothing.
I'm like, do like some extreme shit like snowboarding,
exactly.
Skateboarding,
like if you're doing something action packed, like if you're just like reading a book, listening to dubstep, I can't understand that.
I can't focus on that. Like, whoa.
It's fine whenever it's like a action sequence or like a snowboarding, like
trip journey, something cool,
things like that. Like, but I don't like that music. I'm sorry.
When you're the getaway driver for like some big bank robbery heist, that'd be the perfect
that's
music.
That's when I listen to dubstep.
Be fucking Tokyo drifting everywhere.
That'd be a funny scene. Like you're doing that, and then like the next track comes on. It's like Mozart. It's like, oh, it's on random. Sorry, guys.
Everybody starts wearing like British top hats.
Some Sinatra or something. Yeah, something completely different.
It's on random. Dude, I don't even know why that's on my phone. I'm sorry.
That would still be like a badass action sequence, a car chase with like all this action going on, and then like towards the midway, the radio gets hit and it gets like on. And he's trying to get the tape out, but it's not coming out.
Yeah. What tape? What
tape?
Like,
or the
auxiliary cable.
Yeah, the USB. Yeah, the USB stick gets jammed in. It won't come out.
Oh no!
Or they're like it falls out and like the radio's playing that and they have to put it back in, but they can't get the USB in right.
I can't tell which way is top. Oh no!
Why don't they have those double-sided ones that work either way?
Wasn't that something years ago that they were talking about? Where are those things? It's like a random societal commentary in the middle of a chase sequence.
But that would be cool. And then you got Frank Sinatra singing you in for the rest of the car chase.
I like listening to like classical and like country music during like while I'm playing Halo or what I did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in the car, I have it on KSYM, which is like college radio, just like random indie old school shit, or the Trinity station, the jazz station.
Yeah, I rarely listen to. Well, I have music on my phone that I listen to, but it's really just podcasts when I'm riding on my car.
I'm in my car, but I do the radio. Those two stations, the jazz channel and the indie alternative college station. That's it.
All right.
So
Is that anything else that we can?
Point.
Yeah. I
just real quick, just wanted to mention before it gets too late. Nintendo president Satoru Iwata, he died.
He passed away.
A week ago?
Yeah, it was maybe a week and a half ago or so.
They announced it right after we did the podcast. I think was when they did the initial announcement. I think it was announcement, and that was last week. He was the president of Nintendo.
Real quick, what did he create? What was he?
He started off as he was one of the main programmers for HAL, which made Super Smash Brothers and stuff like that. He was a programmer. I think Kirby was one of his main things that he worked on. He was kind of a linchpin of Nintendo since
he steered the company, right? During their heydays, whenever.
Well, did you say during their hate days?
Whenever Nintendo hated.
He was a major guy behind the 3DS or the original 3DS. A lot of people didn't think it was going to be successful, and you look at it now, and it's that's one of the most popular selling consoles ever, and the original 3DS, the old big giant one, that he was one who kind of pushed for the Wii, and then they did the Wii U, and they're he was admitting, okay, we kind of screwed up on that, we took a bit of a risk and it didn't work out, but it was definitely one of
it's a big name in gaming.
Yeah, he was definitely a well-respected member of the gaming community and stuff. Now they're with the Wii U and stuff. A lot of people were starting to doubt his decisions and stuff. But still, he had a huge impact on just gaming in general. He was always just.
He invented fucking Nintendo, didn't he?
No.
Oh, he didn't.
No.
Did he invent Mario? He invented fucking Mario.
Well, he was the head of Nintendo. A lot of that stuff was happening.
He became the head of the Japanese branch, and then a couple of years later, he also became the head of the American branch of Nintendo.
His superhero ranking was Kotaku.
Oh. No, that was science fiction. I wrote it wrong or something like that. They ranked all the movies, or was it superhero movies? I don't remember.
It was all the hero movies. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's on Kotaku. That's a website. Or
we'll just run through these real quick. What else you got here?
Not really.
Yeah, I think we probably
not really much. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Real quick comments. What did they say?
Yeah, we'll address comments now.
What's up, comments? Hi from France. Yo, what
France,
up?
Wow.
What's up, France? That's at Seed 4238. At Seed 4238.
Oh, hello.
Where is it? Bonjour, comment. Allez-vous.
Allez-vous?
Allez-vous. Yeah, I think that's French, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't know.
Well, that's cool. Someone from France. If you're still watching, thank you.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
Every Sunday we'll be live streaming. It's on Meerkat. You go to our website, you'll find the links for it. Or if you follow us on Twitter, it'll pop up on your feed whenever we're streaming. So yeah, definitely we'll be doing that every week on Meerkat. And you feel free to comment.
We try to get to them at the end of the show.
We'll address the comments.
Yeah, it slows up the show. We start answering you during it. So afterward is when we get it back into it.
Yeah, but yeah, so definitely do that. On that note, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Anything else? No, that's pretty much it.
Save the whales.
Save the whales. Yes.
Save the whales.
Whatever.
All the whales.
Save the tuna too. No. Save the dolphins. No, wait.
What?
What are you talking?
Save the tuna, eat the dolphins. That's what I'm talking about.
What? Oh no, don't eat the dolphins.
Yes. Dolphins have had it easy for too long now.
They are our number one enemy now.
They're smarter than us.
You, a dolphin, and a whale. What is it? The South Park episode where they tell the Japanese that
I think it's whales because they're
it was dolphins and killer whales that bombed them and that bombed them for the Pearl Harbor. So
South Park.
They show all these old posters and the Americans fixed them up so there's a dolphin and a killer whale in the plane. And they're like, "Fuck you, a dolphin and a whale." and that's why they're always over there killing all the dolphins and sharks and whales and stuff.
Oh, that's ridiculous. On that note, I think it's a good place as any
74
to head out. Yeah, episode 74. We'll be back next Sunday for live streaming. Monday will be the episodes.
I might be gone next Sunday.
So it'll just be me and Jimmy.
I'm out next Sunday. Maybe I'll call you guys or I don't know.
Or
probably not.
Send us some stories.
We'll do it anyway.
Yeah, there'll always be something every Monday on the podcast and. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But that's it. That is episode 74 of Thinking Outside the Pod.
Later.